Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. This is Michelle Saga and I am the crafty chick behind Shell's Beads. Today we're going to be working on a Halloween tumbler that is both beautiful but beginner friendly. We're going to throw a few skills together and using a Banff Custom Creations sticker cal as our central design element, we are going to be creating a tumbler that is going to look like it took a ton of time to make but was really super easy. Just to let all of you know, anything that I use in today's tutorial will be listed and linked in the description box below. You might even find a couple of discount codes as well. And anytime you have a question, please feel free to leave me a comment and I will do my best to answer it. So this is the cup that we will be making today, guys. As you can see, this beautiful spooky vibe sticker cal that I designed around really gave me the central element for this cup, and I love how it looked. These are the holographic elements that we will also be adding, and I just know you guys are going to have a blast with this one. So if you guys are ready to get started, let's jump in. To start off, we want a fully prepped and sanded tumbler. To do that, I'm using an 80 grit sanding disc, and I'm just scuffing up the surface of my cup and then washing it with some Dawn dish soap. Make sure it's fully dry, and then we are going to be moving on to the spray paint. For my spray paint, I'm going to have to try to explain this because it was very hard to stay in shot and get this frame filmed. But you're going to want to start at the top and kind of go in a diagonal arc down to the bottom of the cup. Once you have your first color laid down, you're going to move into your second. I started with my lightest color, then moved to black, and then moved to purple. I did that because the glitter that is going on the black areas is the glitter that's going to show up in two different stripes on the cup and kind of frame the green and the purple areas. The glitters we will be using today are all from Chaos, and I will be using Spooky Mix, Frankie, and Witch's Brew. To adhere the glitter, I'm going to be adding about 1 milliliter of epoxy. This is called the epoxy method, and it will allow us to have like an adhesive layer to lay our glitter down. I'm going to be smoothing this on. If you find that you struggle with that, make sure your cup is warm. I have a small little heater that I place my cup in front of in order to make sure that it spreads on smoothly. Once that layer is down, we're going to add our glitter. I'm starting with my chunkiest mix, which is also a dot glitter. This is Spooky from Chaos, and I absolutely love how this glitter looks on the cup. However, it had some frustrating moments because, as you can see here, it wants to kind of lay wherever it's going to lay. I attributed it to the shape of the glitter, and as it's falling out, it just kind of doesn't want to go into where it should. So I'm just going to roll with it, and I'm going to show you how I fixed this problem. Make sure before we move on to that step that you tap off so that you can make sure all of the excess bits are gone. As you can see, there's quite a bit of fallout. To fix that, I'm going to come in with my silicone tool, and this is from a makeup brush kit. I will have it linked and listed below, and as you can see, I'm shoveling it back into the sections that it should belong in. I don't want a lot of that glitter into the center colors of those stripes. Once we've done that, we're going to add our green, which is Frankie. This is a beautiful iridescent small chunky mix, and it really helped to tie in the look of both of those glitters. I also used it to kind of help fill in any gaps that were missed by using that round glitter. I got a little bit on the bottom of my cup as well, and then I moved into my purple. I apologize, guys, that I wasn't able to get the footage of that first coat of purple, but I am showing you here in the second coat that this is basically how I applied it. I also go into those stripes on either side of the dot glitter just to fill in any areas there, and tap the bottom of my cup a little bit with some of the purple as well. The next step is very crucial in making sure that you don't have any excess dot glitter that is going to cause a headache later. Using my rolling pin method, go ahead and roll down a piece of parchment paper one time only. You can see all of the additional fallout that came off, and that's going to make sanding so much easier later on. Make sure to spray seal with 3 coats of Krylon Triple Thick, and once that dries, we are ready to move on to epoxy. We're going to be adding 30 milliliters of epoxy resin store, Tumbler coating epoxy, and I'm going to be moving in a diagonal fashion just to make sure that dot glitter stays in place. Regardless of all of the steps I took, I still seem to have some stray bits that wanted to go wherever they wanted to. Once we have that dried after 4 hours, we're going to come in with a second coat. Once that is cured, we're going to move into sanding. I take an 80 grit sanding disc as well as a 320 sanding disc, and I go around the top rim of my cup first, making sure I expose a little bit of stainless steel so that I have a really nice seal to my cup. I will smooth that out with my 320. Then I'll move on to any little bits around the cup using my 320. Just to make sure that I have any little bits of glitter that stuck up nice and smoothed down. You're also going to want to go around the bottom rim of your cup and make sure that it is nice and smooth before applying any future coats of epoxy. Go ahead and wash your cup off with Dawn dish soap, dry it, and we're ready to move on to our power wash step. I apologize, guys, that this is slightly out of frame. Again, it was really hard to film on my setup that I have going on, so I'm going to try to improve on that in the future. You're going to want to create an oval of Dawn dish spray, leaving the center of that oval free of any Dawn. That is where we are going to be aiming our Rustoleum 2x flat white spray paint. And we're just going to spray that center section and just getting it slightly over all of that Dawn as well. This is going to create a bleached out background look for our sticker cal that we will be adding in the next step. Once the paint is dry, we are ready to put our sticker cal from Banff Custom Creations onto our cup. It peels off just like a sticker, so it is super easy to apply. I'm going to peel it off and I'm going to stick it roughly in the center area of that power wash bleached out section, and it goes on super easy. I have no issues with bubbling or any kind of creasing like I do with vinyl and water slide. Once I have that mooshed down onto my cup, we're going to go ahead and create all of our holographic elements in Cricut Design Space. Go ahead and open up Cricut Design Space and import the line art that you would like to use. I will have the designs that I used listed and linked in the description box below. I got them off of Etsy and I absolutely loved these design packs. Once you have all of your designs uploaded into Design Space, we are just going to size them down to what we need them to be. Mine ranged anywhere from about 1.5 inches to 2 inches in width and nothing higher than 2 inches tall. I wanted to make sure that I had plenty of space to add all of the design elements, so you don't want to make any of them too large. I also went in to find a bat cut out from Cricut Design Space because I wanted something that didn't have any outlines to kind of break up all of that and add just a little bit more of the holographic vinyl that I had chosen. Once you have all of your elements laid out, we are going to go ahead and just click that Make It button. It's going to take us to the screen that allows us to choose how we want to cut our vinyl. And we're going to do that on the premium holographic setting. The first time I cut this out, I did have an issue with the pressure. I was using the default pressure and it still kind of ate up some of those small areas. So I did back that pressure down to less and I got a really good cut. Here are all of our decals that we will be cutting out and transferring. Go ahead and weed out everything but the pumpkins. We are going to be weeding those on the cup. Once you have them all weeded out, you're going to get your transfer tape and start to place your images where you would like them. We will be weeding the pumpkin on the cup, and that's because there's a lot of little details that did not want to weed nicely just doing it the traditional method. I'm not a big fan of the transfer tape one. I seem to always bust through my transfer tape, so I prefer to weed intricate details directly on the cup. You still need to be careful with this because I did find that one of my little ridges did pull up. So just take your time and make sure that you are really paying attention to all of the little areas that you want to leave behind. Once we have that fully weeded, we will move on to the next step. Go ahead and continue placing your decals all around your cup, filling in any areas that may need it. I try to keep my elements as random as possible, and I try to avoid placing multiples of the same kind too close to each other. I do want to fill in a good amount of space though, because these are outlines, you can still see the glitter underneath. So I definitely thought adding these little pops to it really made a big difference. I also felt like it complemented the sticker cowl really nicely. Once we have them all on, we're going to also add some of our tiny little bats to just kind of frame out the rest of the cup. I'm so sorry guys that I forgot to film sealing in all of this holographic vinyl, but you're going to want to take a small amount of CC DIY Quick Coat or even polyacrylic, and just with one of your silicone makeup brushes, you're going to want to go over and seal it in with a very thin layer. Once that is dried, you're going to come in with 20 milliliters of epoxy and you are going to smooth it all over the cup. I like to take care in this layer to make sure that I'm really smoothing it on in a nice, slow, even fashion so that we can avoid any potential air bubbles that might form, causing us to have to sand down and add yet another final coat. Make sure that you torch in between your coats. And when this layer cures for about 4 to 6 hours, you can come in what was at my final layer of epoxy. So total coats after we added all of our decals, all of our power wash, and all of our elements was only 2 coats of epoxy. This makes this cup super quick and easy to do and gives us a beautiful look despite all of the detail that we have added. Let that final layer of epoxy cure for 72 hours and your cup is ready to use. That's it for this tutorial, guys. I had a blast showing you how to create a ton of detail in just a few steps, and I hope that all of my beginner tumbler makers are going to find this video super informative and so much fun. I can't wait to see what you guys create, so make sure to tag me on your social media posts at Chels Beads so that I can check out all of your beautiful works of art. If you like this video, please subscribe to my channel. It means the world to me and helps support me to put out new content for you guys. Also hit that bell button so you never miss a minute of the fun. Comment below because I love to hear from you guys. And until next time, stay creative. Thank you guys for all of your love and support. It truly means the world to me. Check out my last video here, and I'll see you guys soon.